Aloha, it's Malu here, aka Ka'alala, and today we're getting to some comments that people have left me recently on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, you know, all the main platforms. So hopefully me answering some of these questions will be helpful to the people, but also everybody else that has the same question, but don't ask, you know, people a little bit hira, or as we say, what, shame, shy maybe. So let's get into it. Okay, the first one is coming to us on Instagram. This comment is from Eva Beach, my heart 808 for life. Long name, hard to say. Okay, the question is, I have a question, please, if can. If W's inside a word are pronounced as V's, are they pronounced as V's when they start a word, such as Waikiki? Is it properly pronounced Waikiki? Great question. Unfortunately, there's no hard rule. It's not very black and white. You know, a lot of things in language you'll find as you continue to learn is it's pretty fluid at times, and then there's a lot of variations and or exceptions. So there's actually three common pronunciations for the W. There's a V sound, a soft V, and then a W sound. So to get to this question with this word, you know, typically it's Waikiki, maybe like a soft or a V sound. There is a bit of a loose rule of where the W falls in place. If there's a word that starts with a W, yeah, it's either typically a V or a soft V sound. But don't overemphasize that V. And then when it's towards the end of the word, maybe more of a W sound. And again, there's exceptions. So let me give you some examples. In this word, it's wai. So really any name that you find, Waikiki, Waimea, Waialai, that wai should be about the same anytime you encounter it. But in a word like Ava or Eva, since that's where you're from, Eva, typically you'll have that kind of V, soft V sound. And then when it's at the end of a word like Manawa, well, that means time, or Kawa, a servant of some kind. So that's kind of the loose rule of where the W falls in place and how the pronunciation can change. So, great question. I have to add this part. We have Richie Lychee that comments right under this comment and says, it should be, but that's debatable, and sorry, he doesn't really respond much or never has for me, LOL. So sorry, Richie Lychee, for leaving you out to dry. Hey, in my defense, you know, I'm married, got 3 kids, full-time job. Social media I get to if and when I have time. It's a kind of a side job that I don't get paid for. But I understand the frustration, and hopefully that responds to both Richie Lychee, if that's your real name, and the initial person that gave the comment. Not really sure how your handle is pronounced. I'm gonna guess it's Wish I Would, but you can let us know. Maybe I butchered that. The question is, what are your thoughts on learning Hawaiian via Duolingo? So when Duolingo came out with the beta, I looked into it. Now, mind you, I'm already a fluent speaker of the language, so for me, it's not for me, right? I'm not the audience that they made that for. It's very much made for beginners of the language. And then it's really self-guided, so if you're not self-motivated and taking the time, then you're not gonna get much out of it. Now, as far as what Duolingo has in it, well, there's a number of things that you know, I have a difference of opinion in. So what I can say is you can get vocabulary and you can get expression from there. Albeit some of the words are newly created words, which I don't subscribe to, I don't use with my family or friends, and I don't teach them. I rely on the words that are kupuna left for us, and it's not required or needed for us to have a newly created word for every single, you know, Western or English concept or term for me. I've learned other languages, and you say the foreign term if it doesn't exist in that language. You'll hear it if you learn any other language, or you hear Samoans speaking, Japanese, Koreans, Germans. English terms will be uttered as they're speaking fluently in their language. Maybe English, it may be some other term. So it's not uncommon, and it's a non-issue really. So there's a little bit of that. It's also very rigid in that it gives you kind of formal Hawaiian. Which is good to know But you also need to know informal Hawaiian, essentially where to break grammar rules, because grammar is important in some sense, but in other sense it's not as important. In fact, with English or here in Hawaii, Pidgin speakers, we break a lot of rules, but there's a way to break it, right? And that's important. How do you learn all of that? How do you learn how to break rules in informal Hawaiian? How do you learn what traditional words to use? How do you learn how to better express yourself through the lens of a native speaker of Hawaiian? You have to listen to them. So there's Kaleo Hawaii is a great source, Clinton Kanahele collection. Some of them have transcriptions, some of them don't. There's also the oral history that's in Bishop Museum. There's a lot of places where you can actually listen to native speakers if you're not fortunate to be near any of them. And unfortunately, we outnumber them as second language speakers, so hard to find at times. Yeah, that's kind of the long end of it, but some things that came to mind. Like any resource, Duolingo has its limitations. That includes the courses that I make, right? It's self-guided, so you don't have somebody there to, guide you through it, hold your hand a little bit, and respond to the questions and concerns that may come up. So take that for what it's worth. We're gonna jump into TikTok now with my TikTokers. This comment comes from Ernie S. The question is, how does the U and the U with a line over the top change the pronunciation? Well, here's a good time to talk about a couple of things. In modern spelling, yes, the line over the top is supposed to be a long vowel. However, just because you'll see a long vowel over certain words in modern spelling, that doesn't mean that you can't elongate other vowels. So, I mean, a written language can never really properly represent a spoken language, and that's very, very true for the Hawaiian language, many other languages. So, I'll give you an example. In old and modern spelling, the word ulu means to grow. So there's two U's, and there's no line over the top, or that long vowel marker called kahako nowadays. So if I said a sentence like, if I planted some kalo or taro and they're growing, or they grew, I can say, ua ulu ke ia poe kalo. Yeah? If I want to emphasize it, I can say, ua ulu ke ia poe kalo. Yeah, so that first U in the word is longer. And then even kalo, that first A in the word kalo gets emphasized too. But in both words, you don't write out that line in modern spelling. But you'll often hear traditional native speakers emphasize that way. You'll hear that with the word aloha too. So aloha straight across. When somebody gets hurt, maybe physically or emotionally, you can say aloha, aloha no. Yeah, and sometimes that first A is emphasized, but we don't write a line on the top of it. Sometimes in greeting people, maybe say aloha, aloha no ka, aloha. Yeah, and the O is elongated. So, having said that, yes, in modern spelling, that the line is supposed to elongate a vowel, but there's a whole lot more that goes into a spoken language. So, like something I always say is, listen to native speakers to better get a grasp of how things are pronounced and maybe the flow of things when it comes to actual speech. Okay, this one comes from Pikachu, I think is the name, and has a lightning bolt, so I'm gonna guess you're being creative there with Pokemon. Aloha e palala, can you do a video on the correct pronunciation of Wahiawa? Most say Wahiawa or Wahiawa. Yeah, that's just kind of typical, local pronunciation of a word. But yeah, the right way to do it, and we know this from our traditional native speaker population, people that were actually from that area from a long time ago who grew up with Hawaiian language, because it is a Hawaiian word. Well, when we stack ourselves up against them, the pronunciation is Wahiawa. And there's a slight, hold on that last A. Wahi means a place, essentially, and awa is a loud noise. So we know everybody over there making plenty of noise, chirping. Nah. The one thing you don't want to do is hold out the A too long. Like if you're going, oh yeah, we live in Wahiawa, oh, now you've gone too far. So just, Wahiawa. It's a little bit longer, but not too much. You don't want to overdo it. Come on. Anyways, appreciate the question. Hopefully that helps. And good luck catching your next Pokemon, Pikachu. Well, I think that's all the questions I'm going to get to today. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a comment, maybe a question, and if it goes well, maybe we'll do a couple more of these videos. I don't think I make too much time to really sit down and like talk in a more casual way like this. So yeah, it was fun. Had a good time doing it. Appreciate it. Give you guys props, everybody that leaves comments and are looking to learn a little bit more and to do a little bit better. I appreciate it as somebody who's a speaker and also a teacher of the Hawaiian language. So mahalo nui roa ia ukua paurua, hui hoa kuno kākou, aloha.